Welcome to the CTCL Virtual Days College Fair. Thank you for joining us today. I have a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your cameras and microphones are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening. Be sure to sign up for additional ones where you registered for this session. And this presentation is being recorded. It'll be available within about a week, again, at the same website where you registered for this session. Gotten all the housekeeping stuff out of the way, so I will step out of the way and turn it over to our presentation from Austin College.
Thank you. Here we go. Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Hussein. I am one of the Assistant Directors of Admission here at Austin College in Sherman, Texas. Thanks for taking the time to join us today and learn a little bit more about our school. I'm joined here by my colleague, Hank Ewert. He's an Executive Director of Admission here at Austin College, and he is based in our Central Texas office, so recruits primarily in the Austin-San Antonio area. And I am familiar with recruiting here in the Dallas area. I grew up in Allen, Texas, so not too far away from Sherman at all. So I'm pretty familiar with Sherman and Austin College and everything the college has to offer. That being said, today I'm going to go over some of the overarching elements of Austin College that you're going to want to know as a prospective student, things you might not be able to pick out immediately from a, top 200 or top whatever list of colleges guide that you might be finding online somewhere. That being said, if you guys have any questions throughout my presentation, please go ahead and use the Q&A feature to send those in. And Hank is going to be moderating that throughout my presentation. And at the end, when I do have a couple of minutes of downtime at the end of my presentation, I can answer some live as well. But Hank will be answering them all along. If there's anything you want me to go into a little bit more detail about, topics that you think I might address later on, or just whatever you have burning in the back of your mind, please go ahead and ask those, and we'd love to get in touch with you afterwards as well. Okay, so to get started with Austin College and kind of what sets us apart from a lot of these other CTCL schools, because there's a lot that you're going to be hearing from all of our partner institutions, smaller classroom sizes, the format of a curriculum that puts you really in charge of the classes that you're taking throughout. But Austin College is very distinctive in a lot of ways as well. We are very strong in terms of letting our students take advantage of our liberal arts and sciences curriculum, not really having to pigeonhole yourself into a degree plan when you apply, or declaring a major or minor right in your first semester or your first year. These are a lot of the ways that Austin College lets our students have fun with their curriculum and kind of create your own plan as a student and take classes that you're interested in instead of what a school thinks you should be taking. Of course, we are located here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, about 35 to 40 minutes north of the Metroplex. So still kind of in a small college town feel. That's something that I really appreciated because, it's nice to have a big city definitely in the backyard. You have easy access to all of the resources there, great restaurants, concert halls, everything like that. But the town of Sherman is truly a small college town, and that's reflected in the local businesses that are always looking for Austin College students to come and fill positions. It's in the camaraderie just around the town whenever you spot someone wearing Austin College apparel and you know that that is a friendly face around. And we are overall a small campus, which is what you're going to be hearing a lot from all of our partner students. About 1,300 students make up our student body, and they're primarily undergraduate. And so all of the local opportunities here in the Sherman area, not just in terms of internships and entry-level positions, but also community service and getting involved and active in the local organizations. That unity and that partnership between our student body, our campus community, and the local community is something that's really special too. So we're not your typical college that you would think of here. A small private liberal arts college in Texas has a certain connotation and maybe draws a picture in your mind, but we're not that. We're very diverse in terms of student body, professors and faculty as well. Our student body is consistently over 50% of color, so that means more than half of our student body identifies as being a person of color. Very diverse in terms of socioeconomic background and status, political leanings and affiliations, and of course, academic and extracurricular interests as well. So, that's something that I found that I lacked as a high school student. I grew up in a community that looked one way and was involved in one thing, and everything was very streamlined for me up until I really could make college education choice. And so a college like Austin College that is so diverse in so many different aspects made a difference for students like me, for sure. So the history of Austin College, we're the third oldest college in the state of Texas, and that is reflected in a lot of our cool campus architecture that's around. We are open to campus visitors, so if you guys have a chance to come and visit and take the time, we are being safe with our campus visits, and we recommend that you come and check us out. Take a live walking tour yourself, or check out some of our virtual visit options as well. So some, distinctive aspects of Boston College, just beyond our diversity, we do have a really high graduation rate. So I'll talk a little bit about, education. We are a college, that's what you're coming here for. In terms of academics, we do have a relatively open curriculum. I wouldn't say it's exactly that. We want to make sure that our students are taking classes in a wide variety of topics that are going to help you develop skills that are going to translate to different areas of your life. With that being said, all of our students graduate in 4 years or less. We do have over a 95% graduation rate constantly, year in, year out, which is something we're really proud of. So this year, kind of in the world of, a lot of uncertainties and not knowing, what the difference between you having virtual versus in-person class is going to be like, easy is it going to be for you to pursue the traditional college route like you've always expected and hoped for yourself. So we have a finish in 4 guarantee, which means that if you hold up your end of the bargain as an Austin College student, take your classes on time, take a relatively normal course load each semester, which for us means you take 4 classes per semester, and declare your major and minor like every other Austin College student has ever done. That means that there's no reason why you shouldn't graduate from Austin College in 4 years or less. And if for some reason something along the line happens and you can't meet that mark and you find yourself a credit or 2 short of graduation by the end of your 4 years, even though you've done everything right, we will waive the cost of that 5th year and cover that for you here at AC. So we feel very strongly in our students' ability to succeed all 4 years at Austin College. And depending on the number of credits you come in with, APs, IB, dual credit, dual enrollment credit courses, it could definitely be less than 4 years for you. But standard route, 4 years or less, and that is what we find is the case for most of our students. In terms of academics, you're more than welcome to search our website and find our areas of study list. We have over 55 areas of study. Our biggest majors year in and year out are psychology, biology, business, education, and I'm blanking on that 5th one. It might just be another branch of business because we have 3 or 4 of them. But we do have some unique programs to Austin College. We're unusually strong, I would say, in our sciences and especially in our pre-health profession tracks. So Austin College, while we are a liberal arts and sciences school, which means that you're going to take a class in pretty much every single academic building on campus, you're going to be dipping your toe into a lot of different waters and testing out a lot of different classes that are going to push you outside your comfort zone. But I feel like almost every other student I speak with here on our campus is involved in some sort of STEM field. Pictured here on the screen actually is our Idea Center, which is our STEM building on campus. It houses our most popular majors. So again, biology, psychology, computer science, engineering programs. The reason why I feel as though our school attracts a lot of students that are more STEM and science inclined is because we do have really high rates of getting students into those professional programs. So that means if you're a pre-health science student, pre-med, pre-nursing, dentistry, PT, sports medicine even, vet, or if you're interested in a engineering graduate school program, we have additional set of advisors that are going to basically help walk you through that applications process. They'll not only help you narrow down a list of colleges that they think are going to be the best fit for you for your post-grad graduate school degree. They'll help walk you through the applications process, like I said, help you tailor your academic materials, I guess. So collecting those letters of recommendation, targeted outreach. They'll make sure that you're getting in those entry-level positions, internships, shadowing opportunities that you need to be a competitive candidate moving forward. They'll help you craft your personal statement, and then ultimately just walk you through the mock interviews that you might need to apply to medical school or nursing or dental, whatever that might be. And that's what helps our students have such high rates of acceptance into those programs. We have over 90% of our students that apply to graduate school programs do get admitted to their first couple choice schools. And then for medical school especially, it's about 65% at this time. So that's much higher than the Texas state average and much higher than the national average. And so we're definitely a school that you should be considering if you're interested in pursuing any sort of professional degree, but especially the pre-health sciences. Because especially as a student here at Austin College, you're not going to be coming in and declaring your major as pre-med. You're going to be able to reap all of the benefits of the liberal arts and sciences curriculum, which means that you can have a double major in subjects that are outside of science or minor in whatever subject you'd like. You're not going to just be pigeonholed into the STEM building or onto this pre-med track. You're going to be able to, develop a 3D academic program for yourself. And that's a little bit different from a lot of other colleges that I've found, where especially if you come in and you have a professional interest, so those pre-health sciences, or if you're wanting to be a teacher or go into business or law or anything like that, they're going to basically have that be your entire focus as a student. And it's scarce that you'll be able to find or have time for elective classes that are outside of your direct major or minor, or outside of your direct professional point. And so Austin College is definitely a good place for you to come and be able to take classes in a wide variety of departments while still making sure that you're going to be successful at the end of the line when you get your degree and all the years after that. So just speaking to our pre-health sciences again real fast, and with our engineering programs and our couple other pre-professional programs as well. So our big five are theology, education, engineering, pre-law, and pre-health sciences. So if you're interested in any of those five fields, you will have that additional set of advisors in addition to your first year academic advisor that sticks with you all your 4 years. Those additional advisors are going to help you out with that more targeted application and graduate school or professional track. They'll help you out with that specifically, working with your your first year mentor who starts working with you even the summer before you come into Austin College. All the support from different fields is what helps our students be so successful in the world of our, academically rigorous experience here at Austin College as a student. So if you're interested in those five fields, you'll have those additional advisors, that more targeted, experience with entry-level positions, internships, shadowing, etc. And yeah, over the 90% acceptance rate into the programs. For teaching, more particularly, we do have a Master's of Arts in Teaching program right here on our campus. Although we are an undergraduate institution primarily, we do have that one master's program, so a handful of students that are in that dual degree. So it's basically an expedited master's program where you can graduate in 4.5 to 5 years with your 2 degrees from Austin College. So your Bachelor of Arts in whatever your major ends up being, as well as your Master's of Arts in Teaching. And students in this program start their student teaching experience as early as their first semester here at Austin College, which is really unique. Most start, in the second semester of their first year, but that's still awesome to be able to have experience as a student teacher, shadowing local teachers here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and getting up to 90 something student teaching hours by the time you graduate. So basically, after you've attained this master's degree, you're in a really solid position to be able to apply for these jobs, these solid teaching positions in reputable school districts. And this program is definitely known as well, far and wide here in the Dallas area for sure. A lot of school districts are always looking for Austin College teaching position students. So that's awesome. If you're interested in the education department by any means, we have a couple of our colleagues who actually went through the education program here at Austin College. And so I'd be happy to put you guys in touch with them so they can tell you about their experiences. So in general, as students, we have, those 55 plus areas of study that I mentioned. Me, for example, I was a double major in biochemistry and English literature. I had an unofficial minor in music. I was a half credit away. I didn't finish all of my private lessons one semester, but you're going to have the full range of classes. We have these overall, graduation requirements that we want all of our students to take, but they're never subject specific. One, for example, that I like to highlight is a writing intensive class, for example. You're going to have to take a writing intensive class before you graduate, but that's not going to be what you might typically expect, for example. In high school, you're going to be used to writing essays in your English and history classes. But here at Austin College, we're not going to tell you what subject you have to take that requirement in, because we all know, you do writing in all aspects of life across all different academic disciplines. And so you can take a biology writing intensive class, for example, where you have to write a lot of lab reports. It could be a computer science class where you do code, a linguistics class where you do transcripts. There's a lot of different fields that you're going to be able to write in. So while we do want you to develop your higher education, academic writing style, we're not going to tell you what subject that has to be in. So that's just one example of what those types of requirements might look like within our liberal arts and sciences curriculum. Let's carry on, and I'll tell you a little bit more about our curriculum. Let's see. Through our applied learning facets. So applied learning basically translates to students having hands-on experiences both in and out of the classroom. Because this is another thing we all know, learning isn't just being done in a lecture style classroom. It happens out while doing field work, through internships, through studying abroad, through community service. There's a lot of different ways to learn and have that supplement your in-class college education for sure. So we've just kind of formalized it a little bit. All students will graduate having completed one of these 5 aspects of applied learning that you see here on your screen. What we found that over time, more than 75% of our students were graduating, completing at least 4 or 5 of these. So now we've just evened the playing field. So everybody will graduate having completed at least 1. So I'll run through these really quickly because I do think that the ease of accessibility that Austin College provides its students to have these opportunities is something that's really unique. Because at least in my experience in college, it wasn't always the easiest. I didn't attend Austin College. I should have that be a disclaimer. It wasn't the easiest for students to apply for internships or to be able to study abroad as it is here for students here at Austin College. So I was always jealous of my friends that did choose to come here. So the first one is an internship. This is basically a 3 to 4 week entry-level position in a field of work, in a career path, to get you to see what that might look like for you as a full-time entry-level position after graduation. So you'll be working with our Career Services Center, who starts working with all of our students from basically day 1 of orientation as a first year. And they're going to be just like your academic advisor. They'll keep tabs on you your 4 years at Austin College. You'll go in for regular meetings with them, and they'll be able to tailor their opportunities towards you. They'll send you email blasts as your interests change. They'll make notes in their files and be able to, send you more specialized, unique opportunities. And again, like I said, because we are a small college town, all of our local businesses and hospitals, private practices, law offices, etc., always looking for Austin College students to fill their positions. So you're going to be in a really great spot to get that first glimpse into career paths as early as your first year here at AC. A couple others that I'd like to highlight. I won't go over all of these just because they're a little bit more self-explanatory than others, but I'll talk about research. Although we are an undergraduate college, we don't have that research school title on us. But because we are an undergrad school, that means all the research opportunities that are available on our campus that largely emulate a lot of larger universities are for our undergraduate student body. That means that it's not grad students or master's students that are getting their first picks on student research and then it's slim pickings for the rest. Academic research is done across all fields on campus. Our professors all, for the most part, hold terminal degrees in their field. And so the way that they're really looking to push forth now is by conducting research and with the hopes of getting published. So they're always looking for students to join their teams. Research can be done, it can be created by you and just have a passion project that you're interested in. You can join a pre-existing project that's run by a professor or by a department on campus. In my senior year, I was involved in biochemistry research to graduate with honors. That's something that a lot of students here at Austin College do. If you would like to graduate with honors in your degree, you can definitely do research, and that's one way of doing that. I also created my own project that I was just interested in. Whenever I decided that I wanted to have that double degree in English, I basically decided to research comic books and the Shakespearean elements that are found within modern DC and Marvel comics. So I did a semester's worth of research and was able to get credit for that just because I was interested in it. And research definitely helps push your academic interests a little bit further. It helps you do a little bit further of a deep dive into the areas that you love. So definitely recommend research to everyone. It's done by about 60% of our students on campus. So it's recommended, but definitely not required. Study abroad is another thing that I really want to touch on because Austin College is very unique in the sense that almost 75% of our students do go abroad at some point in the 4 years. I definitely think that's important to note because it's so easy for students to go abroad through our partnership programs. We have partnership programs with international universities that ensure that the classes you take when you go abroad are going to transfer back to Austin College and have that credit rollover as well. This is definitely a question you guys should be asking the colleges that you're interested in, especially if you know that you want to go abroad, because colleges won't make it as easy as we do more often than not. They're going to have you, take a really stressful course load either before or after your study abroad trip to make up for credits that you might have missed or that won't transfer over. Or some situations they'll make you take summer classes when you get back because they'll tell you your classes will transfer, then you come and they end up not transferring, and then you're stuck in summer school. So for Austin College students, these partnership programs we have with international universities make sure that the classes you take will count towards your degree plan, towards your graduation. There's a wide variety of ways that students do like to go abroad. The most popular way, I think, is through January term. The more typical route that you'd expect for college students is a semester or a year-long experience studying abroad, usually over your junior year, sometimes your sophomore year. Another distinctive thing about our partnership programs is that there isn't any additional cost to study abroad. So if you pay, for example, $10,000 for a semester at Austin College, if you go abroad for one of our partnership programs, you would just be paying that $10,000 as you would for a semester here. So that's something important to note too. But over our January term is a perfect time for you to go abroad or just take a class that's a little bit outside your comfort zone. I like to highlight this because I think it's kind of a unique feature to our campus and to our curriculum. We operate on the 414 class schedule, so students take 4 classes in the fall and spring, and then 1 over the month of January. And this 1 class over the month of January, us affectionately calling it our JanTerm, is a really great time for students, I think, to get a little bit more excited about their education again. You'll be just coming off your winter finals, about to kick into a spring semester, and January term is just a good time to take a class on campus. It's a little bit more fun, travel abroad, or have a really quick little internship. So you can see some examples of classes that we do offer. On-campus classes are a little bit more field trip based, very rooted in camaraderie, getting you to bond with your peers and with your professors. We have a beer brewing class for students that are of age. A really popular one is animal psychology. They visit every single zoo within about 150-mile radius of Dallas, so that one's really popular for all of our students. We have yoga classes with knitting, crochet. So those on-campus classes are really fun, and of course you do get a JanTerm credit. You can also go abroad during this time. This is a really great time because this means that you can go abroad more than once in your Austin College career. You'll have a January term for at least 3 out of your 4 years as an Austin College student. And so if you wanted to go abroad, JanTerm your sophomore year, and then again your junior year, who's to say you can? The most popular trips that we do offer over January term are going to be our theater trip that goes to London. You don't have to be a major or minor to go on any of these trips also. That's important to note. But this theater trip is really cool because they basically go to London's version of Broadway and they go to a different play every single night. And then the next morning in class, they do their write-up. So that's awesome. We have a coffee trip that goes to Eastern Europe. So they learn about like the culture of coffee and how that's changed over time throughout history. They go to like, I forget all the countries, they go to like Hungary and all these different places. I think that's really cool. And then of course you could do a quick little internship or shadowing during this January term as well, here in the local Sherman area or back in your home city, home state. We'll help you coordinate that. And so January term is really just a great time for you to take advantage of all the opportunities and interests that you have as a student, for sure. All right, moving on, I'll talk a little bit about our student life. Like I said at the top, we're a very diverse campus. And so our campus is very vibrant and tight-knit because of that. Again, like I said, me growing up here in the local Dallas area, my high school was very much, everybody almost looked the same, had the same interests, was studying for the same types of colleges. And so Austin College is a very diverse school, and even me being an employee and having friends that attend this campus, the sense of community is very strong. Partially because we are a residential college, so that means that about 80% of our students live on campus all 4 years. We do have a 3 out of 4 year living requirement, so that means you'll be living on campus for the bulk of your Austin College time. Our students are also hyper involved. Over 90% of our students are involved in community service, so that's something that's important to note. We do have an entire office on our campus just dedicated towards community service opportunities and outreach through maybe alternative spring break trips or local recurring positions that you might have in an organization, more national organizations like Habitat for Humanity and things like that. But our students are very involved in that sense. We also have a D3 level in terms of athletic competition. So we have 9 men's and 9 women's sports. We do have D1 men's water polo, which I think is kind of unique. And most recently, our women's basketball team won their division. So I think that's really cool too. We also have a range of club sports, intramural sports, and over 80 something general clubs and organizations. Everything from interest-based groups like fishing club and baking team, esports, music performance groups, acapellas, and improv groups. We have academic groups like Mock Trial, Model UN, Free Health Society, Young Business Persons of America, all that good stuff. And a lot of clubs and things that you're going to be familiar with from high school wanting to carry forward. We have all that as well. I also recommend that students try and create their own group if you're interested in that. In college, I made the Footy Pajama Club, and that was a club that I created because I wanted to get together with my friends and have footy pajamas club, and develop this club for anybody to come. And I would just throw a movie night on my floor every month. And by the time I graduated, it grew to like 50 something students. So I definitely recommend that you guys, take advantage of your academic education, take classes that you want, and make your education exactly what you wanted, but also have that counterweight and be involved in the extracurriculars you want to be involved in. I'd say the sweet spot for most students, and especially Austin College students, is about 3 to 4 extracurriculars outside of classes. So it's good to have that work-life balance, especially as a academically rigorous and competitive student at a school like Austin College. I think it's really cool to be able to have a say in the clubs that happen and meet more people in this way. So that's my little spiel about student life. Again, very vibrant. Our students are very involved, and it's a great way to meet more people around campus too. I'll talk a little bit about our application. Our applications process, scholarships, financial aid, and of course, as you guys have any questions, I hope you're sending them in the chat. We'd love to get around to them. So us here at AC, we are definitely a holistic review school. So this is something that we very strongly abide by. Probably my favorite part of our application process is how much attention we put into reading every single app that comes in. Not only do we love to get in touch with our students as you're applying, get to know you that way, so we have more of a 3D read on you when it does come time to application reading season. But for us, holistic review really means that we're reading every word on every page of your application to give you the best possible opportunity to show us who you are. Again, a black and white application gives us only so much for our students, and so we don't want to just skim through your extracurriculars, your at-home commitments, what your teachers and counselors have to say about you, what type of academics and classes you've taken, provided what was offered at your school. So us being holistic review means that we're looking at all of that information and more to get to know you the best possible way. That being said, here's what we do require from our application. We accept 3 different applications: Common App, Apply Texas, as well as a coalition application. We don't have any sort of institutional preference. So we read all of them the same. I like all 3 of them. I just love that anybody has an application for me to read. This is probably my favorite part of being an admissions counselor, is getting to read everybody's application and getting to know y'all. So these are all also free to apply. So that means there's no need for a fee waiver, no need for you to wrangle up some pocket money to apply to this college. It is free to apply. And if you're looking for our specific application material requirements, check out our website. We also have all of our dates and deadlines on there too. We do have 4 deadlines, as well as a decision ready deadline, which is coming up here soon. So definitely check out our website. If you guys have any questions about our deadline, let us know. The, I guess, most important one to note is early decision, which is a binding application due at November. So that is a commitment saying that if you are admitted to college, barring any financial troubles, you will be attending the following fall. So that's really the only application deadline I want you guys to note, is that that is the binding application. Early decision. Other than that, you should be good to go. We like to turn our decisions out pretty regularly. And again, just reach out to us or your admissions counselor, and we'd love to stay in touch with you throughout. Okay, let's talk about scholarship financial aid. This was always the thing that I wanted to know the most about, money. So here at Austin College, just to be point blank, our overall cost of attendance, including housing, room, and board, is about $55,000 per year. That being said, every single student who submits an application to Austin College is automatically reviewed for one of our general academic scholarships, and these are merit-based. So that means they're based on your GPA and your test scores or your test optional essay. So the other part of our holistic review process is the fact that we were actually the very first college in Texas to offer a test optional pathway. This is, faith that we've had in our students all along. We're not just bandwagoners. I like to make that joke now. As a test optional applicant, basically instead of sending in standardized test scores, you'll be sending in an additional essay instead. This can be an essay that you have written for an English or history class in high school. We'd prefer for it to have teacher comments and a grade on there, and we'll just review that as part of your application instead of standardized test scores. Now, also for our merit-based scholarships, these range from $18,000 to $29,000 per year. And like I said, even if you're a test optional student and we don't have your standardized test scores, you won't be penalized when it comes to our merit-based scholarship review. This is another question that you guys should be asking the colleges that you're looking at. I found actually some schools that now that they're new to the test optional platform or pathway, they don't have even scholarships stacked up between those who are and aren't sending in their test scores. So for us here at Austin College, regardless of whether or not you're a test optional student, that doesn't impact how we look at your application. It doesn't impact your review for scholarships either. So all students eligible for the $18,000 to $29,000 scholarship that renews per year. If you guys are interested in entering your GPA, entering in your test scores, and seeing what kind of a scholarship we might spit back at you, check out our scholarship financial aid website. We do have a net price calculator on there that can serve as kind of like a guesstimate for what you can expect with your application. Sorry, with your admission, if and when that does happen. Like I said, about 75% of our students do receive these merit-based scholarships, and they're renewable year to year. We do have a couple additional scholarships that we offer for our students. Because our merit-based scholarships are so large and do cut off such a huge chunk of our cost of attendance, we don't have a whole lot in terms of interest-based scholarships, but a couple that I do like to highlight are our alumni scholarship. So if you happen to know anybody who attended Austin College and can get them to write you a letter of recommendation, that will amount to a scholarship for you. We do have a fine arts scholarship, so that's music, art, and theater. Some sort of prior involvement and some sort of future commitment, not necessarily as a major or a minor in any of these fields, but that might mean private lessons, being part of a student showcase, tech theater, any sort of involvement moving forward. And those are just the big ones I like to highlight, but we do have a couple of other ones. We are historically a Presbyterian affiliated college, so if you're involved with the Presbyterian Church, we do have a scholarship for that, and a couple others. So if you're interested, definitely check out our website. But beyond all the scholarships, we do recommend that every student and family fill out the FAFSA. This is probably something you guys have heard a lot as well. The FAFSA opened on October 1st, and it stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. Basically, our Office of Financial Aid uses this information to determine what kind of need-based aid you guys might qualify for. And using that information, we will start a conversation with you personally. If there's any sort of additional need-based aid that you think you might need, we're happy to help look and see where we can fill in those holes. But I think are very competitive in terms of cost per year and attendance with our local state colleges, with other Texas universities. That's almost a necessity here in Texas because we do have so many other colleges that we're competing with. But for the type of education and the type of small private liberal arts college experience that you would get, I do think that our cost is really competitive with schools that you might be looking at elsewhere. So definitely just recommend you get in touch with me, us, your admissions counselor, to have that frank conversation. It crosses any part of your decision, which it probably is, right? And so we'd be happy to help clarify or help make Austin College even more of a possibility for you. But I do think we are pretty generous with our scholarships. And if you guys have any questions, please let us know. We'd love to get in touch with you about that and explain more right now. But this kind of wraps up my presentation, guys. I'm happy to stick around and answer any questions you do have. My contact information is right here on screen, and I'm sure Hank can drop his email in the chat as well. But thank you for listening to us a little bit about Austin College and our distinctive factors that set us apart, I think, from our partner institutions, as well as other colleges you might be looking at outside the scope of colleges that change lives as well. So get in touch with us at any time. I love to get to know my students, but answer any questions you have about Austin College or even just about the college search and selection process in general. So thank you again. I'll stop sharing my screen and open the floor to questions.
Thank you, Sarah. And we'll wait a couple minutes here to see if there are any more questions. And if not, we'll end the session here. But I do want to remind anyone here to go ahead and use the Q&A for questions if you have any for Sarah and or Hank here from Austin College. I'll go ahead and share the, well, maybe I will, final screen here. That's not what I want. There we are. I want to thank everyone for attending today and joining us for this session. Just a little reminder, when you close the window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this is just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional ones where you signed up for this one. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings, again, at the same place that you registered. Sarah, I think we're okay on questions. So I think unless you have more that you want to do, I think we can go ahead and end the session. If you.
This has been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for presenting today, and everyone have a great rest of your Sunday. Thank you.